The first single is Before the Sun Goes Down, and that should be coming out mid to end of September. It's going to be available everywhere digitally: Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora. My website, of course, sarah-dashew.com is a good one to go to for all things new and me musically. Next songs are going to be coming out consecutively. So mid-October, mid-November, mid-December. Before the Sun Goes Down, similar, the idea of freedom, the idea of, I had this image of somebody who's been released from prison and is standing on a dirt road in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the day and doesn't really know which way to turn because they're free. And what do you do with that? You don't know until it's all right. You know, with all the transition and everything going in my life, that image started to pop back into my head. And so it became this, the idea behind it was this kind of rollicking blues, like, okay, this could be terrifying, but here I go. And it's a 12-mile walk before the sun goes down to get to the nearest place where I can feel safe. And I'm just gonna start walking. So it was that idea, that image that suddenly just kept popping into my head. And all of a sudden I had this line, it's a 12-mile walk before the sun goes down. And I thought, whoa, where did that come from? Sat down. I got a friend who's living on the edge of town. It's a 12-mile walk before the sun goes down. Got a friend who's staying. Sedona was a really interesting one. Sedona came about because I left my job, and that was terrifying. And I took myself up to Sedona, just me, for a couple of days. And I thought, well, this is going to be a lovely little retreat, and maybe I'll write, and then I'll come back down. And we got this huge snowstorm. This was at the end of February. And I got stuck. I got snowed in. So I thought, okay, I'm not leaving till I write something. And there were all these elements there, the fire, the red rocks. And the first time I was in Sedona, I was 17 years old, and I had my whole life in front of me, and I was fearless in a way. And then, you know, you start to grow up. You realize limitations, or you construct them for yourself. And I imagined it as this conversation between myself now, who had just kind of leapt back into the fray at a late age, some would say, and my 17-year-old self. And my 17-year-old self in the song is the compassionate one who's saying, I understand. I get what you've done with your life, but come on, it's time. Let's do it. First time I saw Sedona. First time I saw Sedona, I was barely 17. Big red rocks, bright blue sky, white hot fear if I burn. But as I had the flexibility to just do it for me and do it for fun again, music started to reintroduce itself to me. It's the way I figure out God. It's the way I figure out what to cook for dinner. It's the way I figure out relationship. It's the biggest provocateur of memory and the most constant companion I could have in my life. And I just, it took me a really long time to realize what a gift that is, to have that kind of embedded connection to something. And I don't want to leave that again. I don't want to lose it again. I woke up. I don't want to go back to sleep. So, diving back in.